Hello and welcome to our webinar on Social Action Bootcamps, how to plan and run them with your group. In this webinar, we'll give you a basic structure to follow, along with some key activities and tips for running your own Social Action Bootcamps. So why a bootcamp and what do we mean by a bootcamp? A bootcamp is a fun, activity-packed session to run with groups large and small, to introduce social action and to get people thinking about how they too can become more community and socially focused. We ran a series of bootcamps in the summer of 2014 across England, engaging with over 1,000 young people. The bootcamps lasted around 3 hours and were run with groups from as small as 17 people up to 50 people. In this webinar, we'll give you the structure, the activities, so you can run your very own bootcamp sessions. The tone of the bootcamps was upbeat, inspiring and aspirational. We really wanted the young people to come away wanting to take action. The style was interactive and engaging. Our format was as shown here. So first it was the preparation. There are lots of things to think about when you're bringing a large group together to deliver a bootcamp. You need the right equipment. We always took lots of paper, coloured pens, a projector and a laptop with access to the internet. The venue is also really important. You need enough space for the activities and ideally somewhere new that the young people are excited to go to, but with enough space. Keep the numbers manageable for yourselves and also have a minimum of 2 facilitators to make sure that you've got enough support. Think about any young people that you have attending that have additional support needs and obviously make the necessary arrangements. So we start the bootcamp format with introductions. And it's introductions for everyone in the room, including any new people or facilitators. It's really important to put people at ease from the beginning. It can be done in a fun way by asking people to introduce themselves, maybe with not only just their name but a personal fact about themselves, like the country they'd most like to visit and why, or their dream holiday and why. Make sure no one is left out. Then we move on to the activities. All the activities that we use in the boot camps are aimed at introducing social action to the group. By explaining our definitions of social action and social entrepreneurship, everyone starts with the same basic knowledge. The activities are aimed around raising awareness of the issues that young people and the people in their community may be facing. So please be mindful of people's comfort zones in sharing sensitive information. The final activity we get the group to do is to agree on an idea together that they want to take forward and prepare a pitch that they present to a panel of judges. More about this a bit later. So we give the group clear pitching guidelines, which can be found in the next few slides. Remember, each group will probably only have up to about 5 minutes to pitch at the end of the panel. The panel are then able to ask questions to clarify their knowledge and provide feedback. You'll need to provide a break at some point within the bootcamp for people. And then of course we move on to the next steps when we look at what other options the young people have at the end if they want to take their ideas forward, and also how they found the bootcamp as well. So one of the first things we do as part of the introductions is talk about who or what is a social entrepreneur. We get the group to explore this with us, so we ask an open question to get them thinking. What is a social entrepreneur? If they're not sure what a social entrepreneur is, can they explain what an entrepreneur is? Once you've had some answers from them and had them exploring the definition, give them our definition. So we define a social entrepreneur as someone who is first and foremost driven by a social cause, but who couples it with a successful business model. A social entrepreneur measures progress by social impact as well as the profits that they generate. So the next thing we do is a quiz. Again, you can get the group together as a whole for this, or you can break them up into smaller groups, give them some paper, or get them to compete against each other. Collect some images of some famous social entrepreneurs, as we have done here, and ask the group if they can first name them, name the ventures they started, and the social or environmental issue that they tackle. Give the group enough time to note down or shout out their answers. Then, of course, you'll need to actually give them the answers. So working clockwise from the top left-hand corner, the answer is obviously Jamie Oliver, and his social issue was youth unemployment. Jamie started a restaurant called 15. Now 15 trains and develops young people to have the skills and experience to work within the restaurant industry. Jamie saw an opportunity to train young people in cooking, hosting and all aspects of restaurant management to tackle the industry's need for skilled workers, but also provide opportunities for young people who are not in employment or had any experience. The next, in the top right-hand corner, was Blake Mykoski, founder of Tom's Shoes. Blake was originally inspired by his travelling. He saw how people were trekking miles to get to school and had no shoes. So he came up with a design based on a traditional South American shoe. His ethos is, for every pair he sells, a free pair is donated to someone in a developing country who needs them. In the bottom right-hand corner was Anita Roddick, who founded The Body Shop. She founded The Body Shop on the principles of not only fair trade, but the wish to provide natural products for people in the West using organic and natural ingredients, providing an alternative to the already existing chemical products available. And the fourth and final example in the bottom right-hand corner was John Bird. John Bird experienced homelessness as a child, and this is the social issue he tackles through his magazine, The Big Issue. It provides a voice and opportunities for those who are homeless or vulnerably housed. Through The Big Issue, John provides homeless people the means to earn an income as well as giving them a voice. The magazine features pages dedicated to the homeless to share their stories, art and poetry. The magazine also features articles campaigning on the rights of those who are homeless, as well as interviews with stars, movie reviews and everything you'd expect from a leading magazine. Did the young people in your group know who everyone was? Did the young people know about all the products and all the companies? Another thing we go through are the qualities of a social entrepreneur. We'll show this slide on the projector and then ask everyone if they feel or recognise any of the characteristics or if they feel that they have any of those ones. Are there any not listed maybe that they think a social entrepreneur should have as well? Refer back to the quiz and to the 4 famous social entrepreneurs. Do they feel that any of those individuals possess any of the qualities that are on there? Can they see also any of these qualities in themselves? One of the final activities we do is to actually show some case studies to the young people. This is why you'll need the projector, speakers and access to the internet. So we know the best way to teach someone is often to show them how it's done. Unlimited has supported thousands of young people to start their own social ventures. Their stories are shared here on our YouTube site, where there are videos of the young people describing their journeys and the ventures they've created. Allow time in your program to show around 2 to 3. We've given 2 examples here of Emma's project that supports girls and Stefan's recycling empire. They're both great examples and can be found on the YouTube channel with the link above. If you watched our Getting Started webinar, you would have already seen Honour's shoe recycling venture and Joel's tutoring service links as well. These are equally good to show if you've not seen them before. The next activity we move on to is around identifying the issues that are specifically important to your group. So break large groups down into small groups. Get people to list all the issues that they're aware of and that exist within their own communities where they live. We found a great way to do this is to give small groups pieces of flip chart paper and pens, send them off to corners of the room with 2 questions: what's good about where they live and what's not so good or maybe needs changing in the area where they live. Examples could be things like a good thing is great, they've got a large local park. Bad things could be that there's no after school club or there's a high crime rate in their area. Once the group have identified things for each category, get them to come back and present them to the rest of the group. It's a good way of seeing if others agree. It's also just a good way of seeing if anything's maybe been missed off. Pick up on any commonality between the groups, but also challenge any answers that need clarifying. Keep the papers for reference later. You will need them. So by now, the webinar's the boot camp's probably been going for about an hour and a half, so your group will need a break. Schedule in a short comfort break, or if you're running over a lunchtime, make this the lunchtime. Now when they come back, it's ideal to do an energizer with them, again to get the energy back up, but to also keep them active and engaged. It's always best to include an exercise like this after any break. We've given the example of our rock, paper, scissors tournament. It can get very noisy, but again it focuses the group on being together and gives their brain a bit of a lift after a period of inactivity. Get your whole group to pair up, so in pairs. Explain the rules so everyone knows, rock, scissors, papers, and then get them to play a tournament. They play one game each. The winner of the first round finds another winner to play a second round with, but they take the person who they won against with them. This person becomes like their cheerleader. They must clap, they must shout their name out, and they must offer encouragement to the winner as they play their next tournament. As you go on within the different rounds, more and more people will follow fewer and fewer winners until you have 2 people left who basically play the final tournament. The room will get very noisy and very loud, but it's a great way to bring back the energy in the room. So before the break, you got the groups to think about the social issues that they felt were important. Now you need to get them to drill down one issue that they think they really want to focus on. It's the one that they feel maybe they can most tackle, or maybe the one that they feel most passionately about. You may find at this point that larger groups are unable to agree on an issue, or maybe they wish to choose different issues. This is absolutely fine. You'll just need to make sure that you allow time in the pitching program to include all of the groups that are created. And it may mean adapting timings a little if you've got lots of groups. We allowed 20 minutes for groups to then discuss their ideas and put together a pitch. Again, let them go and find their own space. This is why you need maybe a large room. Give them lots of paper, lots of pens, and they've got 20 minutes to complete their pitch. It's really important though to remember at this stage, we don't want them writing a business plan or going into too much detail. The pitch should be short and punchy, similar to the style of pitching on Dragon's Den. These are the guidelines we give to the groups on preparing the pitches. We'll show this on the projector on the large screen, but we'll also have copies to give to each group to take away if they are leaving the room to get ready. So give the group the time scale to work to. They have roughly 20 minutes to prepare, and they'll have roughly between 3 and 5 minutes to actually pitch and present. We found that the average group created about 3 to 4 minutes worth of material to pitch. If you've got smaller numbers of young people or larger groups, adjust this to give them less or more time, but don't give them more than 5 minutes. They can nominate someone in the group to lead on the pitching or to complete the whole pitch, but we always try to encourage the whole group to get involved and be present. We found that most groups did this. Maybe only 1 or 2 individuals were too shy to stand up in front of the whole room and talk, but we still encouraged them to stand with their group and whilst they presented. So the pitch should focus on why they are the right people to take the idea forward, what problem it is that they're addressing and why is it important to address, how are they actually solving it, and who it's actually going to benefit or help by them solving it and running their activity, what equipment and resources they need, and thinking about how they'll keep the project going. Maybe there's an element of sustainability, maybe they'll fundraise throughout the process. So once the 20 minutes is up, you'll pick an order and your groups will pitch to the panel of judges. Now obviously you'll need a panel of judges for the pitching. It makes it a bit more exciting for the groups to be pitching in front of a new group of people other than the groups themselves. We use staff and volunteers to be panel members to give feedback, but we also use them to ask questions for clarification as well. No more than 4 people works best on the judging panel, we found, and if possible get some external people or representatives from the business community or other youth workers to come in. A note to the judges, when they give feedback to the groups, be sure to include the parts that they thought were really good or stood out for them as judges, and make sure that they're brief. Time is short in terms of giving feedback. One thing that worked really well for us was the judges giving specific areas to focus on in their feedback. So for example, one judge would ask questions around the group's skills, another would ask about the resources and activities they were planning on using, and the remaining judge would maybe give feedback on their ideas and make some future suggestions for them. Groups can get very nervous before pitching, so again, remember to keep the energy high, and once every group has pitched, a round of applause is always appreciated. So finally, once everyone has pitched and received feedback, we talk to the group as a whole about taking their ideas further and maybe submitting an application for the social switch-on, where they can get up to £500 support to continue the social action journey and to help develop and actually run their idea. We share the link for the website to get further information, which is shown here at the top of the slide. An image of the website is actually featured here as well. In our webinar on the NCS graduate offer, we explain the opportunity fully, and we also give you information on how to access and support young people to access the offer. And that was the end of the bootcamp. We did an informal evaluation with them as well, asking about the bits that they enjoyed the most, the bits that they didn't enjoy so much, and what they were taking away from the day. If you have any questions on the content featured in this webinar or would like to talk to us, please use the Contact Us tab via our website, which is www.living-it.org. We hope you really enjoyed delivering your own bootcamps, and thank you for joining us for our webinar on running your own social action bootcamp.